Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your support. So today I'll be making shirt dress. I'll be using this fabric to make long sleeve shirt dress. This fabric is 2.5 meters by 60. I use the pattern to cut out the main fabric. So this is the main fabric. I have two of this. I also have this placket, bottom placket. So I added seam allowance to the main fabric. I added half-inch seam allowance. This is the neckline, shoulder, armhole, half-inch seam allowance, half-inch seam allowance. So on the pattern, I had 2 inches button extension from the center front line. I have a notch here, center front. So I cut it down to 1/2 inch. I'll trim this off. I cut it down to 1/2 inch because I want to use this for my bottom placket. So I'll sew this. This is the wrong side of the fabric. This is the right side. This is the wrong side. Then this is the right side of the placket. I'll put it this way. I'll sew it from the notch. I'll stitch it with half-inch seam allowance from the center front to the end. So I'll stitch the bottom placket to the front pattern. What I'll do next is to sew it this way. So on this side, I folded 1/2 inch in to the end. So this seam, I'll turn it to this side and fold this into 2, the placket into 2, and stitch it on the center front line. To the end. So after that, I'll top stitch on this side. It will look like this. This is center front line. This is center front line. Then you will top stitch on the edge. After sewing it on this line, you will top. Then after doing that, the next thing you will do is to fix the pocket. So this pocket, I measured 9.5 inches and fixed the pocket. But if I want to fix only the pocket, I will measure 9 inches and fix the pocket. But because I want to sew this pocket flap to it, that's why I measured 9.5. So I'll measure 9 inches and sew this pocket flap on 9 inches. After that, I'll turn it this way and top stitch on top. So this is one of the pocket I'm going to use. I have 6 inches this way. After sewing, it will be 5 inches. I have 1/2 inch on both sides for seam allowance. I folded it in. On this side, the length, I have 7 inches. 1/2 inch on the lower part to fold it. On the upper part, I have 1 inch. So after sewing it, it will be 5.5. But how many inches you use for your pocket and pocket flap is optional. This is pocket flap. Sorry, I've sewn it. I had two pieces of this. I cut out 6 inches by 3 inches. So after sewing, 5 inches by 2. So I put it this way, right side facing each other. I stitch it. After that, I notch. So I now turn it to the right side and top stitch on the edge. This is for the back. I cut it on fold. I added seam allowance to this side, armhole, side, and also on the lower part here. I cut it on fold. This is for the back. So you remember I have 2 inches for pleat here. So this is the 2 inches. I pin it. So I'll put it this way, or you will use loose stitches to hold it. Gather stitches, loose stitches to hold it, to sew it a little bit, maybe like 1 inch or so. But later you will remove the stitches. So after that, you will press it this way into 2. The pin is here, 2 inches. You will open it this way and use gather stitches to hold it, or you use pin to pin it also. This is the yoke. I added seam allowance to it also. The neckline, shoulder, I cut it on fold. On fold, I added seam allowance. I have 2 pieces. So here, I'll put it this way. Right side of the yoke to the wrong side of the main fabric. Then this right side also to right side. Yoke, main fabric. Remember, you will hold this, you will stitch this so that it will be like this. Then right side, then I'll stitch it with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So this is the back pattern. I've sewn the yoke to the back pattern. I've sewn the yoke. After that, I now press it and top stitch on this side. What I'll do next is to join the back and the front together. This is the back, right side of the back and right side of the front. I'll put right side together. I'll turn this one. I'll stitch it with 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'll do the same on this side. I've joined the front and the back together. So what I'll do next is to fix the sleeve. So this is the sleeve. It's basic sleeve, long sleeve, basic sleeve. So what I did, I measured my sleeve where I want it to be. I want 25 inches. So I minus 25 inches from the band. I want my band to be 2.5 inches. So this cuff, I minus it from the length of the sleeve. So the sleeve is 25 inches and the cuff is 2.5 inches. 2.5 minus 25 is 22.5. So I have 23.5 here. 1/2 inch seam allowance on this side and 1/2 inch seam allowance on this side. I measured my round sleeve, my wrist. So I have 10 inches. 10 on fold is 5 inches. I added 1 inch for pleat and 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'll open it. So the next thing I did was I marked my seam allowance 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. From that 1/2 inch, I measured what I have here and divided it into 4. So I divided it into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the back side and the front side. So I now open this back side, the first line, because I divided it into 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first one at the back, I opened it. This slit is like 3.5 inches to 4 inches, but what I have here is 3.5 inches. So now I have this stripe. I will use it to tidy up this. You can use bias to tidy up, or you cut your fabric on bias and use it to tidy up this part. I used bias. I cut this on bias and use it to tidy up this side, the sleeve. So what I'll do next is to stitch it this way. I marked this. I'll sew it on this mark. So this is the sleeve. I want to sew this pleat to it. I have 2 inches for the pleat, so I'll measure 0.75 or 1 inch. I have 1 inch here, 1 inch. From this 1 inch, I'll measure 2 inches. 2 inches is for the pleat, 2 inches. Then I'll fold from here back to this 1 inch. I'll pleat it from this 2 inches to this 1 inch. I'll use gather stitches to hold it. So I'll use gather stitches to hold it. I held it with gather stitches. So now I'll sew it to the dress. To get your midpoint, you hold the lower part of your dress. If your dress is equal at the lower part, you hold them together and pull it so that you know your midpoint. So this is my midpoint. So midpoint. I'll put the midpoint together. Midpoint. I'll pin it together and sew it to the dress. I'll do the same on this side. I'll fix the sleeve. So what I'll do next is to sew the side. So I have 1/2 inch seam allowance from the sleeve. Half inch seam allowance to the hem. This is for the sleeve, the cuff, this band. I want it like this. This is 2.5 inches, so I want this 2.5 inches. But what I have here is 3.5. 1/2 inch seam allowance, 1/2 inch seam allowance. My measurement is 10 inches, so this is 5 inches on fold plus 1/2 inch seam allowance, 5.5 on fold, 11 inches. So this is for 2 for 1 sleeve. I'll put it this way. I'll fold one in, then I will stitch it. I'll do the same on this side also. I've sewn the side. So what I'll do next is to fix the band cuff. So this is the band, the cuff. I've pressed it. I'll sew it from the inside, wrong side. I've stitched it. So what I'll do next is to cover the seam. So this is the folded edge, right side of the fabric. I'll push the seam inside and use the folded edge to cover it. So I'll stitch on it. So this is the band, inside, outside. So you fix one button. So this band, I have 2 pieces for the cuff, but if you want, you can cut out 1 piece and fold it into 2. This is the collar and collar stand. I have lightweight interfacing on it. I folded this in, one of these, 1/2 inch. So I'm going to join these 2 together. I've joined the collar. After that, I notched. I trim off these 2 ends. So now I'll turn it to the right side and give it a good press. I'll sew the collar and collar stand together. So this is the collar stand. I folded 1/2 inch in only on this part. So I'll put it like this. This is the side I'll sew to the shirt. So I'll put this way. I'll go and stitch it together. 1/2 inch seam allowance. This is the collar. I want to sew it to the dress. This is the neckline. I have video on how to make collar. I'll put the link in the description. I've pressed it. This is folded edge. This side, I'll sew this side to the dress first. After that, I'll use this to cover the seam. Right side of the dress. Midpoint on the dress and midpoint on the collar together. I'll stitch it. This is the collar. So I'll use this folded edge to cover the seam. I'll push the seam inside and stitch on it. This is the collar. I've finished. I also hem the lower part. So what I'll do next is to fix the button. So one button on the pocket. You will fix your button on the left side of the top. You fix your button on the right side buttonhole. So this is the left side. On your bust line, you fix one button. If you can use 3 inches or 3 1/4. So if you're using 3 inches, you mark 3 inches for another button. This is your bust 3 inches to the end. So this is the dress. I'll overlock it. After that, I'll fix the buttons and give it a good press. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.